The daily drum roll of job cuts is getting louder. Surfwear company Billabong is the latest to swing the axe, while Caltex is reviewing its operations with 800 jobs under threat. But the country's top economic advisor thinks people are paying too much attention to the bad news. The head of the Federal Treasury says Australia isn't Greece and it's got a very bright future. Political correspondent Greg Jennett reports.
Tech-savvy kids.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, that's definitely cute.
Traditional skills.
Oh, don't worry about them.
And a lesson from the Prime Minister about making the move from the old economy to the new one.
Because the economy of the future will never promise one job for people across their lives.
The economy of the present barely offers that. Surf and leisure wear maker Billabong shedding 400 jobs globally, 80 of them in Australia.
Which is just a factor of the challenges that we're seeing at retail, particularly in Australia and also in Europe and to a lesser extent in the USA.
At the shops, in the air and in the factories, companies are reading the last rites on workers daily. Oil giant Caltex isn't joining them yet, but is reviewing refineries in Sydney and Brisbane, casting up to 800 jobs in doubt.
That's a pretty ordinary thing to do when you know that workers and their families and their livelihoods are in jeopardy as a result of that.
Caltex stresses no decision's been made, but the prospect of a further loss in refining capacity is something the government's keeping an eye on.
Caltex is in a change journey too, and as we talk to businesses every day, we'll talk to Caltex as well.
The impression of gloom can be all-pervading, but not if you're running the Federal Treasury. Its secretary cannot comprehend why business and consumer confidence is languishing as low as it is. Martin Parkinson sees Australia in the grip of an irrational Athenian influence.
It's almost as if most Australians seem to think we live in Greece. We don't. I mean, we actually have an incredibly bright future ahead of us.
In other words, don't worry, be happy. His weekends on a positive note. Greg Jennett, ABC News, Canberra.